Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am here to talk about Maheshate versus Slavakos. This is a fight that is on the main card, I believe. Maheshate is 23 years old, 9-2 as a pro. He's got 1 inch of height and 2.5 inches of reach on Slavakos, whose real name is Viachslav Borschchev, but I'm just gonna go with Slavakos. And Maheshate's got another name as well, but I don't know what the fuck that is. Slavakos is 31 years old. He's got a record of 6-3. Very limited as an MMA fighter, but he is a seasoned fighter. He's going to be comfortable in any cage or ring because he's been fighting for a while, elite kickboxer, and even some boxing, but he's definitely a kickboxer first and foremost. And if he's able to keep any fight on the feet, he's probably going to be winning that fight. He has shown recently at the UFC level that his ground game is just not up to par, and he has a gaping hole there. It's something he's been working on since he got into MMA, obviously, but I'm sure he's been exacerbating that training recently because, it's a gaping hole and everybody sees the blueprint. But it's still not going to ever be up to par, I think, no matter, what kind of training he puts together. I could be wrong, but I think it's a pretty gaping hole there. Having said that, that doesn't mean there aren't fights I'd pick him to win, and this is one of them. Because Maheshate, he's a big, strong, athletic kid who wants to make it a physical battle. He wants that physicality, which he's going to have an advantage in most of his fights as of now. I don't know what fucking weight class he's going to end up in because he's only 23 years old. But I've never seen him land a takedown, not on anybody worth a fuck. He hasn't fought really too many guys worth a fuck. Not that I want to fuck any guys, but he dominated, steamrolled, dog shit competition. And then once he got to the UFC, he had a close battle on the Contender Series with Achilles Estremada, or whatever his name is, Achilles, and clearly won that fight, won it in impressive fashion, and, meaning that it was a close fight. He didn't put him away or anything. And then he came to the UFC, got a beautiful knockout over Steve Garcia. Beautiful, on his back foot with a beautiful counter right hand. And then he got taken down and neutralized largely by Rafa Garcia. Garcia straight up outworked him, sucked some of the life out of him with wrestling, and straight up made it a wrestling battle and won that fight. But I was impressed with Maheshate surviving, kind of like I was with Slavakos surviving against Giacchese and especially Mike Davis. But I didn't take away anything about his wrestling there that leads me to believe he can sustain a wrestling attack against Slavakos for 15 minutes. I'm sure that's what his game plan is probably, I'm assuming, is to use his athleticism and his physicality and make this a wrestling battle. A well-timed shot. One thing great athletes are capable of is great entries. But I think that could work for him for a round or so, but I don't think he's going to be able to sustain that. And Slavakos, even though he hasn't looked good in the UFC, he's scratch and clawed to win plenty of battles before he got to the UFC, and they were against better competition. He had this one close fight with this guy, Alan Zabian, I believe, and it was a very close fight in which he was taken down multiple times, but he had an answer for the takedown every time. He had some sort of an answer. Kicked his way up a few times, wall walked, toe hold, sweep. No, there was no, he didn't get too involved on the ground, but he always had an answer, and he made that fight more of a kickboxing battle and ended up getting the victory, and when he's on the feet, he's just a Terminator. There's this fight he had against this guy, the fuck's his name? Kendley St. Louis. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful performance from Slavakos. This guy, he's got body shots from hell. Ask Dakota Bush about that. And I think if he makes this fight a kickboxing battle, he's going to make Maheshate look limited before 15 minutes is up. And he's going to take over this fight. I think he's going to tame the athlete, keep this fight standing, and win this fight. I'm picking Slavakos to win. I can't guarantee he's going to win by knockout or decision or submission, I guess. But yeah, knockout certainly possible. But I played his money line minus 140. Of course, the props aren't even available yet, but I couldn't even tell you which way to lean. I guess whichever way is the best odds. Just bet like a degenerate. But I really like Slavicos to win this fight. I think Maheshate is a good raw athlete, but I don't see a wrestler there. Never seen any wrestling from him in any of his fights that are, worth looking at. And I think he's not going to have wrestling to dominate Slavicos for 15 minutes. If he does, he's going to pour all of his energy and it'll work into one, for one round. But then Slavicos is going to be able to make this his fight and he's going to win. That's the prediction. Slavicos by decision or late TKO. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.